done talking about fucking mothers and killing daddies. And that's the first thing on the screen. We're talking about Oedipus. It's not perverted. It's cultured. So does anyone want to do the previously on?
We moved 10 feet. I should probably stop listening to some of your songs. Okay. So we got to the place, my friend's name. We saw out a pit, but we were still gassed, so we flew over the pit, even though it wasn't a real pit. And then we got attacked by some drainers, and Tom's character said, "Fuck this, I'm protecting me and Todachiyam, and Hugh can fight the drainers alone." And then after that, we fought a succubus and another demon, and I teleported behind the first demon, or the other demon, not the succubus, and punched the shit out of him as Tom and Antonio's character fought the succubus, almost kissed a bunch, and then actually, guess what? And then we killed the succubus, and then we cut the succubus from her neck down to her groin, and put the staff in her. That was the deepest game ever hoped to be in a woman. We put the staff in her. And after that, we got Alakax to level 1, finally. And then we decided, hey, we're all pretty down on resources, so we took a nap.
Well, first you tried to take a nap in the library, and the books were like, "Fuck you."
Books are like, "Fuck out of you."
And what happened when you went to sleep?
First we got attacked by some ghosts. I punched them to death. Then we were almost attacked by a statue. The statue was like, "Oh, I see this guy. I'm just gonna leave."
Also known as the GM had mercy.
Yes. Yeah, mercy. Also known as it was a mutant magic and had DR10 adamantium, which I didn't have yet. We'll be fine. Perfectly fine. We'll be fine.
Perfectly fine. No problems at all. Also, I should probably remind my kids. Hopefully the kids will actually get online, because they're supposed to be able to be online like all the time here, but their mom's not exactly keeping with it. Kind of on the verge of going, okay, coronavirus be damned. But no one wants to hear about me bitching about my ex-wife. Entertaining as it is. So.
You know, like 2 things I keep forgetting to use? Jabbing dancer and power attack.
Left testicle and right testicle.
Yeah. Sorry, punch.
Anyway, so yeah. You awaken, and Karafan is, as he does, meditating there. You're eating rations in the abyss.
Oh dear.
It's okay, no, I fucking ants. Get off of me. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You're like the only one of us who can eat.
It's nice not to have to eat.
Perhaps teriyaki jerky wasn't a good idea after all.
Hey, you could say it's smoky. Womp womp.
It's not even my favorite kind of jerky. I like the really thin, dried out ones.
In any case, yeah. Well, let's turn things over to you.
Alright. Is everyone ready? I'm ready. Making sure myself prepared.
Tarafon will go, yes. Since I can no longer enter the testing chamber, I will keep guard up here.
You sure you're gonna be okay?
I should be fine. After all, it's not as though I have a choice to come down with you.
Well, stay safe.
As you approach this large demonic statue,
I don't feel so good. Both of you are fine. I'm the character who didn't feel good at this place. No, I mean, like, I don't think my stomach is doing very well. Like, got a character.
Eee. So you see this stairway that goes down. It seems to be carved out of a different sort of stone than the rest of the cathedral. The cathedral here being kind of grimy white alabaster, and the stone of the stairwell being jagged and black.
You coming, Kairos? I mean, we kind of need you to take the test along with me anyway. He will take the lead downstairs. Absolutely. I'm going to go invisible with my ring.
Okay. I just realized I didn't match the scales of that upstairs map properly. Oh well. As you go down the stairs, the stairway narrows until you come out single file. You find yourself coming down into a ruined library with broken shelves lining the walls and sheaths of parchment littering the floor. Strangely, the library's books float in midair. No, it's wrong library.
Oh no!
The stairway goes down and opens into a landing in a square room, roughly hewn from the black granite underneath the cathedral. There's a heady scent of spices, cloves and cinnamon, filling the air. Sitting at an oak desk in the center of the room is a withered, desiccated corpse, covered in a strange mix of funereal wrappings and golden filigree armor. Both the north and south walls have iron doors in them. As you walk down, the desiccated corpse behind the desk stops looking through the book that it's reading, sets it down, puts its hands up on the table, and rises, staring in your directions. And I would like all of you to make will saves.
Oh dear, no. I was about to ask if it's a fear effect, but I can't do that because I'm not in my homeland. Is it fear, death, insanity, or confusion?
It is fear.
Oh, if it was with my homeland, I'd be immune to it.
So, Kairos, as it looks over you, you find yourself completely paralyzed in fear, barely even able to breathe for the next 2 rounds.
Joy.
As it points its hands to you and speaks. Artemarcus, most potent ruler of Ochipitus, bids you welcome to the test of the smoking eye. If you are here, Ochipitus lies fallow, without a strong hand to guide its development. Know, then, that you are a pretender to Artemarcus's throne. If you are worthy, step forward and undertake the test of judgment. And it takes the book it was reading and flips it around and slams it on the table, facing towards you.
Well, I'm taking that test, so I'm going to step forward. I'll step forward as soon as I can move again.
You can move
Do
again.
I attempt to step forward?
You can move, yeah. He kind of gestures towards the book and holds out a quill and an ink pen. Yeah, there's a book there. So as you step forward, he leans to hand you a quill and holds a bottle of ink by this book that's open. And the book, the book is a ledger of sorts. It's a name, date of test attempt, score, witnessed by, and you can see, name. So previous examples, there's a name, there's a date, then in every case in a different handwriting, and the second handwriting is the same in all these lines. It says death, Proctor. So, 5 years ago, Half-Essus attempted the test and perished. So on and so forth.
Well, next pleasant. Any recent names?
Not very recent, no.
Alright. I guess I'll put down my name.
Good. He gestures sort of for the next person to take the quill, kind of pointing the quill towards here. Your name is written. And he holds the quill out towards Kairos.
I'll move over and take the quill and put my name in.
He then takes the quill, puts it in the ink, flips the book back around, sits down, and points to the north door. Behind that door lies Thatnak the Bedolith. He points to the other door. Behind that door lies Halalia the Avoral Guardian. Choose one door, slay the occupant behind it, and pass through the door on the other side. I will meet you there.
Knowledge plays to figure out who those two are?
Sure. So, a Bedolith is a type of demon, a spider the size of an elephant with menacing fangs and claws. The ability to dismantle armor, wrap its foes in webs, and resistance to all damage not done by the most good of beings. An Avoral Guardian is an Avoral is a type of Agathian or Cardinal, a neutral good celestial with great feathers and a birdman's brow, able to see the invisible, to cast fear in the hearts of all but the most righteous, call down the forces of nature themselves, and resist or hold immunity to all damage save from that of the most wicked and evil.
So we're taking the demon, right? Yeah. I can't hurt people. Just to pick that up for you. Alright. Go to the... You still have the angel again? Then go to the bottom once we go to the top. To the top. Okay. Wait, should we prepare first? Guess I'll, if anything, I'll cast shield on myself.
Get out of here, fucking ant. So Kairos is invisible, right? Summoned evil creatures.
Yes. So a natural evil creature was the legend. Yeah. Which I don't see that part being much use here, but anyway, we should go. Here we'll head into the room first.
Okay. I'd like you to all roll initiative. As I describe for you this room that you're entering. This chamber contains a series of wooden platforms that form a network of bridges connected by fine silken cords. There's a door at the far end of the chamber. The ceiling is 30 feet above, and the floor, covered in spikes, is 30 feet below. So, Kairos.
I'm going to take this time and I'm going to cast...
Oh, excuse me, not Kairos. Here. It's better than Kairos.
And China's is better than mine.
7?
I hope it's 7. The 27 was for your knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to step out of it and be on guard.
You may make a perception check. You see nothing but these bridges. Narrow and rickety. Keros.
I'm going to take this time and I'm going to activate my speed time and give us haste for the next 12 minutes.
12 minutes of haste. Oof.
Let me double check and make sure I have that right. I believe 12 minutes.
Are we sure it's
Sorry,
minutes?
12 rounds. 12 rounds.
There we go. That sounds a lot more reasonable.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll haste. What does haste do to us? And I will put extra attack for forward action things.
So here's what it does. Haste creature gets a +1 bonus on attack rolls and dodge rolls to AC and reflex saves. All of your forms of movement are increased by 30 feet to a maximum of twice your normal speed. And you get a extra. When making a full attack action, a hasted creature may make one extra attack with one natural or manufactured weapon, and is made using your full base attack bonus.
On a related note, does 30 hit your flat-footed AC here?
Yes, it does.
Alrighty then. Does 30 beat your combat maneuver defense?
It does not.
Alright, so as you're standing there looking over things on guard, a web shoots out and wraps around you, entangling you as webs do. But it is not, but you manage to hold your ground as the creature attempts to pull you back towards it.
No saving to get tangled.
You are entangled, but you are not moved.
Gotcha.
So you are currently entangled. There you go. And you can now see this creature that gave rise to the entanglement. Donatian.
Oh, that's already happening.
I'm a little tied up at the moment.
Oh boy. That. Not good. I'll cut the webs from around you.
Okay. I'll need you to make an attack and a damage roll. That hits. Damage roll. You cut the webs, but these are very thick, strong webs, and you get to maybe halfway, get a little bit less than halfway to freeing him in this round. Here.
Am I able to do any action to attempt to free myself?
Yeah, you can attempt a strength check or an escape artist check.
I'll attempt an escape artist check. Which is a lovely thing because I have Lyra's blessing, which gives me a +2 to that.
Yeah. You managed to, thanks to Tonatium cutting your way through, you grab and you manage to pull and slide the webbing off of yourself. Dramatic anime cloak style.
What kind of action is that?
That's an action.
That was my standard.
Yep.
And I'll move in.
Okay. Gyros.
I'm going to move up here, and I'm going to cast Guardian of... Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, you already have most of these thanks to Tatium. Oh, there goes that plan. Is this thing up in the air?
It's up on the ceiling.
How high up is the ceiling?
30 feet up.
I'm going to cast Wall of Stone and cause a Path of Stone to rise up for here to be able to reach Thranerak.
Okay.
You're good at that.
So So you pull a wall of stone out from the ceiling to give him a route. Okay. Thantak is going to scurry down that wall and attack the bridge. The bridge. So he still has to make these attacks. So clawing at the bridge. Those beat the AC 5. You could critically fail. So that's going to be a total of 24 damage to the bridge.
Here, it's time to parkour.
I would like you to make a reflex save. As it just goes down and shatters the bridge beneath you. You can grab, so you manage to grab a hold of and be dangling from one of the portions of bridge next to you. As the spikes menace 30 feet below. Tonatian.
Next to the wall, that's that.
Speaking of walls, are these covered in spider webs?
Not really, no.
Really? No?
No.
How high up is the ceiling?
30 feet.
30 feet? So I could do that without damage.
And the floor is down 30 feet.
The total span of this room is 60 feet.
Yes.
Oh, the spider climb. My way over here. And I'm going to fireball the spider without attacking the bridge.
So, where's the center of this spider? Just centering it right on the spider?
Not centering on the spider. Let's say centering here so it can get caught in the 20-foot radius blast.
Like so. Okay, I'll need you to roll the damage. The bridges automatically fail.
I wasn't trying to aim the bridge though.
Oh, you're going to the top. Ooh. If you want to hit the spider, because the spider's at bridge level, it's scurried down to attack the bridge with its hands. So if you want to hit the spider, you're going to have to hit the bridges.
Could you aim the spider?
That's what I was asking about.
Alright, I'll hit the spider then.
So are you aiming right from above the spider?
Above the spider, yes.
Okay. That's pretty much, do you want to risk hitting here, or do you want to risk hitting the bridges?
Bridges.
Okay. So, there will be some destroyed bridges. And what's the DC on that save?
DC is 18.
So, it fails because this is Pathfinder. As fire runs over this large spider that is surprisingly not immune.
It's not even fire. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
And bits of bridge just crumble down to the floor below. Here.
So I have a question for you again.
Yeah?
Abundant Step says I have to, it has to be a place I can see. Can I
Okay.
Abundant Step onto the spider's back?
No, but you can abundant step up into the sky right above it and fall onto it.
Yeah, but that.
Okay.
What about Jim here?
Jim, Mal's pulling at you. He's dropping down onto the back of a giant demonic spider.
I abundant stepped above it to jump down onto it.
So we have the anime. So here, let's go. I'm imagining here, let's go. Spins around as he falls, conjures the portal, and slides through to punch the spider from behind. Right? Are you stunning fist this?
Yeah, stunning fist this too. Sure for that.
Come on, make this spider lose its grip. That's a hit.
Cool.
There's the fort save.
Sadly, it makes its fort save against the stunning fist. It also needs to make its fort save against touch of golden knights, which probably can. Yes. That just takes no damage.
So, yeah, thump. That's right. So it's going to be that.
That's all I can do, standing on the back of the spider now.
Yes. Kairos.
Alright, let's see what we can do. How about...
I don't think it can even fail its save against stunning fist. That roll less than 19.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I am going to cast blindness on the spider.
So now I need to double check. Okay, so fort save, right?
Yes. And it makes it.
Well, there's a voice in your head here that is going, "Get off, you fool," as it reaches out up and attempts to pluck you off of its own back with a pair of claw attacks. Neither of those hit. So number one, it does not rip your clothes off. And number two, it does not manage to pull you around to bite you. But it does kind of run back up the wall. I'd like here to make a reflex save to stay on Fat Neck. Yeah, okay. Throw it in.
Just for future reference, and if it ever comes up, I'm immune to all detect thoughts, discern lies, and any attempt to share my life.
Okay. That would have come up last time and caused you to be attacked by the statue. So what you're saying is we need to rewind until everyone is damaged and tired and fight that golem.
No. We can forfeit it randomly into your sleep. He turns on the light.
Done it here. So, ton of TM.
Too close for that to do that. Nope, I did not prepare that. I wish I could just use all accounts of the whip and just back that right. Like that. Nope. Wand of magic missiles. That knack.
Okay. Magic missile. Phew. Here.
Flurry of blows, with my first one being a stunning fist.
Full round attack. Extra attack.
Yes.
That will hit. Stunning Fist, because that'll affect DCs.
It fails, so it is stunned.
Means it loses its grip and comes falling down on this. So you will need a reflex save to stay on. Okay, so there's the first damage, and I need to roll its fall damage.
My reflex save.
You will manage to keep hold of it and kind of not fall. You'll have the choice. So there's the fall damage. That is not enough to break the platforms, so it does not go plummeting down to the floor. And you're still on it. Yeah, you would have had the choice to let go and be on the platforms if it crashed through to the floor. But it's not.
My flurry of blows up.
Yep, you get to continue your flurry of blows. That'll hit. That'll hit.
Fourth attack.
Then that'll end everything.
52 plus 6.
Yep. As I try to find this book that I closed like a fool. So this could go very well or very badly. You punch the floor. The floor has 2 hit points remaining.
I can't do anything less than 8.
So I'm going to need you to make a reflex save.
This is all part of your plan, Mal.
Okay, that barely succeeds. So you end up missing. You hit the floor cracks, you go, oh crap, as it stumbles and you fall and you grab the edge again. And it falls, taking 3 damage from the fall, and it's going to impale itself on 1 spike for 7 more damage. Fatnack is not looking very good as it lies on the floor, skewered by a spike that just barely missed its heart.
I just imagine here hanging from like the little planks coming off the roof going, oh, I meant to do that.
You have no idea how close that came to being the end. Garros.
I'm going to use my time flicker to flicker the 35 and then another 30 feet down to the ground. So that'd be 65 feet, correct?
Just so you know, there is not ground that is not covered in spikes.
Okay. How high up is it?
How high up is what?
Bridges from the spider?
The 30 feet.
Okay. Touch it. Never mind.
Could he flicker onto the spider's body?
That you could do.
I'll flicker down onto it then.
Okay.
And touch of death. Slay a living. He has to make a fort save.
Okay, what happens on a failed fort save?
It takes 3d6 plus 12.
So it will take at least 1 damage.
Yes.
It was disabled at 0 hit points. Yeah, it would have been dead and skewered, but as it is, it's dead, it's freezing, its telepathic voice is going, I'll feast on your bones, and flicker. Kairos appears and just touches it, and it dies. Da, 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 da.
That was a pretty epic moment.
That was really cool.
That was one of the best critical failures ever.
Yeah. A critical failure that ultimately helped you. A critical failure that didn't hurt me at all and almost killed the boss.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I want to say I could have gone a bit smoother, but I don't know. That's like pretty smooth, par for the course, all things considered.
Climb like the bottom of the bridge.
That's a question. How are you going to climb back up onto the bridge?
Me?
Oh, your jump. How high can you jump?
No, I was hanging on the bridge.
Oh, that's right. You were hanging.
Tom is going 30 feet down the spider's body.
I'm going to cast Stone Shape and shape stairs out of the stone in order to walk up.
It's tough of you to believe that these spikes are made of stone.
No, I'm not using the spikes.
It's, tough of you to think that these floor is made of stone.
No, the wall of stone I created. That's fine.
I'm giving you a hard time. It's all made of stone. But yeah.
Handy utility spell.
You can get up.
So glad I have spider climb shoes.
I'm so glad that 45-foot jump range will stand still.
There's an iron door here.
I have to push it open.
It opens.
Mal, I just realized.
Door's not.
Mal, I'm sorry.
What?
If it comes down to the person who killed it, I'm sorry that I stole your kill.
Still my prey.
Again.
So, frescoes depicting a black feathered angel in battle with hordes of demons and devils cover the walls of this room. Where the wall meets the ceiling is a sentence carved into the granite, repeated over and over again as it encircles the room. Know who made you. The room's only other feature is a tall stairway leading to a dais. On the dais is a lantern attached to a 4-foot pole by a short length of chain. A string of red sigils glows in midair, surrounding the dais at a distance.
What do we have here?
As you walk into the room, there's a flash of light. And the proctor appears at the bottom of the stairs. Everyone needs to make a will save.
Same one?
Yep. Same fear.
Well, I didn't think I rolled that correctly. No, I did not. Because I have a bonus of +7.
Well, that first roll with the bonus of +7 would have failed. The second one succeeds. But in either case, the fear runs over you. And this form turns and solemnly walks up the stairs, coming to the lantern, lifting it almost like it were a holy relic, turning and walking down the stairs, or turning to Kairos and holding the lantern out.
I swear to God, Tom.
I already tried to take the lantern.
Keep stealing all my shit.
I don't think you can roll over this land anyway. You don't even have the smoky eye.
Well, I'm apparently allowed to take the test.
Heed the words of Adamarcus. It says, "You have passed the test of judgment. attend to the wisdom of Adamarcus. Always deal with rivals first and enemies second. This lantern shall guide you to the second test, the test of resolve. And the mummy vanishes. And Karos, you now hold this lantern.
Okay. Can I detect magic?
Oh, it's magic.
Oh, it's magic. Spellcraft. I have the spellcraft. Nope.
Yeah, you're not quite sure. So, that is the Lantern of Guidance. And you just merely need hold it up to eye level, and it will cast forth a beam of light to the location of the second test, the test of resolve.
Alright, let's get going then, you guys.
You lift it up.
Yes.
A beam of light shoots out almost straight up and then seems to move and wiggle, and then it draws a path back down the way that you came. There are two exits to this chamber, the way you came and the other one.
Which one did this one go down again?
It went down this way.
Yeah, so let's head back the way we came. After you. I will lead the way.
Where do you lead the way?
I like it with it.
So, you, as you come walking up the stairs, the lantern of guidance, shows the path leading out the front door of this cathedral. And Carafon goes, "Oh, you've succeeded then. Simply marvelous."
This could be a way I can get rid of my curse if I can take over this place. Trying to roll over a lamp simply to get rid of a curse does not sound like a good idea. I'll do anything I can to get rid of this curse. I hate it. I'm not saying if it was a good or bad idea. It sounds more like you're giving up one burden for another.
Yeah.
In a way that makes no sense.
Also sounds like you're doing it for yourself and not for the sake of this place.
I do what I need to do.
In any case, we should probably head on to where this moving for you.
So, there's a bit of some. So the path. So the lantern shows a path. The path only leads out about maybe 40 or 50 feet in a given direction. So where before you were able to fly rapidly, now, well,
Now we have to walk into independent encounters.
Well, no, we can still fly. We'll just have to settle down every couple of minutes, change back, and do another check.
We'll be in a couple minutes. We have to call seconds. And it only goes 40 to 50 feet. You have a flight speed of 600 feet.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, not very practical.
well,
We have to go having to go by foot.
I'm going to go ahead and draw the path it's going to guide you along. Helps if I draw it on the token layer where you can see it. So, the question then is, how do you want to make your journey?
That is a good question. That is a good question. Oh wait, no wait, it's still.
Best part of that play is none of us got hurt. This started making me go with actual attack attacks.
Yep, which means that its armor destruction and rot didn't take effect.
Armor destruction and rot.
Yeah.
Oh dear. The rot, I'm hoping I'm immune to.
I actually don't think you are.
Is it a disease?
Nope.
Is it a poison?
Nope.
Then I'm not going to get the rot effect. If they did it,
Yeah. Would have been a fortitude save every round for 5 rounds, and every failure you lose 2 constitution drained.
Oof. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Tom did haste on me.
So,
Because I'm not enough when I only have 33 normally.
that is going to be 20. How far is this? I'm going to use Carathon as a measuring tool here. It's 36 there. Which is, so it's going to be 80 miles on land. Which with your speeds means it's a 3-day walk. So,
Wait. Can I use a divination spell to find out where the second test is?
you may attempt to.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna use divination.
Okay.
Let's see. That makes it.
So I need to check. Because this is actually running close to something that I know in 3.5 would have come up. And I think this will come up. Do you have the 25 gold piece offering? Okay. So I'm going to ask you to make a will save.
Ooh, that's not good. That would be 11 if I had it.
Okay. So as you begin your prayer of divination, you feel a grip on your soul. And for a moment, you're in a cage, dangling above a pit. And laughter echoes around you. And you can feel your own tentacles and wings. And then you're pulled away and turned to face the thing, who holds up a finger and goes, "Nuh-uh. Follow the lantern. Do it right, boy." And you collapse down on the floor.
Oh, he freaked out.
So let's see. Yeah. From here in Tona Team's perspective, as Kairos casts this spell and he shudders, a slit opens on his face and a third eye rips open, gushing out smoke. And then as it collapses and he falls down, the smoke fades and just a trickle of blood comes from this wound on his forehead.
So is that mark thing? Here looks like turning the toes.
Yeah, that's the mark.
Huh. Almost glad I didn't get it.
So yeah, Kairos, your head hurts.
Ow. Alright. Guess we're calling in a lantern. For someone who's so eager to get rid of the curse, you sure are willing to give up those powers. You sure are willing to use those powers. That's not my curse.
Oh, no, I don't see why you're so excited to get rid of a curse. Everyone has curses here.
Imagine having all that power you have here, and not ever being able to do anything to change what you see or do. Well, let's keep going.
Okay.
When you warn people over and over again to never listen, and you get to watch as those horrible things play out over and over and over. Like what you
As I said, everyone here has their curse.
Karafan goes, I can see why you want to be free of it. Let us work together to free us all of our curses, friend. As you walk down, so this first half day or so of walking and following the beam of the lantern, you walk through this fallen celestial landscape.
I'm going to be invisible and just holding the lantern so it looks like it's floating in the air in front of Chuck.
Wait, technically the moment can be invisible since you're touching it.
Oh, okay. So it's just
We're going to be able to see, so yeah, they're just a beam of light going from nowhere.
So, when you get to the bottom of the celestial mountain, you reach the fleshy floor of a Chipitis, where the flesh almost tries to rise up like a clot over this mountain. And around it, on the floor, you can see visibly the ground is shaking. And for the next 4 hours, as you walk along this spongy, fleshy, vibrating ground, it's like walking through an earthquake. You stumble, you fall very frequently. At times you have to crawl. And then you finally reach the end, exhausted, ready to sleep. When you hear a cackling. Yeah.
I recognize this voice.
It's several voices.
Oh boy, here we go.
So let me take you to this.
Do I recognize one of them?
Let me take you to this battle map. Would you spread yourselves out as you have been walking?
Sorry, where's our tokens? Yeah, I can't see my tokens. Okay, there they are.
As you can see, coming towards you.
Wait, so a day has passed, right?
This is the end of an 8 hours of walking. It's not that a day has passed. You've been walking for 8 hours.
Oh, okay, so half of it. Okay, that's. I thought you said a day and a half, but.
No, half a day and the second half of a day. You haven't camped yet. So yeah, you can see twisted, blood-stained skeletal creatures lumbering across the fleshy soil. Yes. Initiative time in the land of the flesh. So let's see. Let's get this done first. Here, Kairos, Tonatium. That last one I copied too many times. So these are all going to be in between. Isn't that just great? And last, and probably least, Carafon, who will be going second. Okay. Here.
How far away am I from this one? 45 feet. That's a nice number. I will spend 1 key point to increase my speed by 20 feet for a round. As a swift action, and then I will spring attack at Babu 221. Just running in, punching him, and running back.
Okay. So you have 60-foot movement, right?
I have 90-foot movement. So I can move it all the way there and then all the way back.
You can't quite move all the way there and all the way back.
I can't. I can just take the exact same path I took towards him. Speed 45, 45.
45, and then I bring it back again. It says it's 95 to do.
That is a weird number. That is weird.
Yeah. Because you're, yeah, so you'll end up 1 5-foot step over. Yes, that does barely hit.
I'm assuming he's evil.
He is.
Cool. So, catch a roll like that.
Yes, there has to be the fort save.
Right. I highly doubt anything here is ever going to fail a touch of gold.
As Carafon looks around and goes, oh, hey. And as he's looking around, he grumbles, why do I know nothing of any power? And he starts shuffling through a bag that he has at his waist. Kairos.
I'm going to cast Airwalk on myself, and I'm going to start moving up, walking up into the air, about 30 feet.
And now it's time.
Uh-oh.
What's your movement speed? 60-foot fly.
I'm invisible still.
That's right, you are. So they're going to go in this way.
I'm dead. You're dead.
And they will each claw at one of you. So these first 2 attacks are against here. And these 2 are against Tonatium.
Oh, one doesn't hit.
Hey. So you get hit once by a claw, which is 6 and 1 fire.
Oh, the fire negates because I'm...
Yep. As they literally fly wingless across the fleshy surface. Tonatium.
Oh dear, I'm gonna use a little more time. Shift. And
Like so?
Yeah, that's like 60 feet, but doesn't quite matter.
Okay. Fort saves.
I think that's reflex. Let me check real fast. Yeah, reflex.
I just realized I was using the wrong stop block for them. That's okay. It's everything we've done is consistent with it. So it's reflex.
Yep. And they both fail.
Okay, they're both taking that max damage.
And the spell resistance roll.
Oh yeah. I should probably.
That overcomes their spell resistance, yes.
Okay.
Jesus.
So that's going to be 36 damage to each of them.
This is cold.
Yeah, I forgot what Baba's were. So.
36 is a lot of damage.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they have a lot of HP.
Here.
Well, it's time for some flurry of blows. Starting at 221, my first one will be a stunning mist.
Okay. Hit. With the 2 saves involved. If I can do this without breaking it. There you go.
Which one is it in order? Gold knife or stunning fist or stunning fist?
Stunning Fist Golden Ice, the way we've been doing it all the time.
Both the saves.
So, I'm sorry?
It makes both the saves.
Okay. Yeah, we've been doing it that order all the time, so.
Next attack.
Hits. Hits. Does not hit.
And then final attack.
Does not hit.
Nice chunk of damage to do one.
Carafun goes, here it is. Pulls out a wand and attempts to use magic device check. Where is his use magic device? There it is. And as he does, he whips it out and magic missile. I forgot the cap on this. Okay, so it is 5.
Fine, missile.
You rolled one less than max damage.
Dealing 24 damage to Babo 30. Pulls out and goes, magic missile! Garos.
I cast Guardian of Faith on my dear companion Tadatium. You have a 6 AC, 4 from Shield of Faith, 2 from Protection from Evil.
Alright then.
So this Babo will make a 5-foot step over here to flank here.
Over here.
And including flanking. The 2 attacks with the long spear are these. And the other one with his long spear.
Anime moment, just ducking, diving, dipping, dodging, and dodging all through those spears.
As these 2 come around towards Tonatium. Baba 1.
Neither hit.
Baba 2 may only make 1 because he went all around the long way.
That one hits.
For 12 damage. Tonatium.
That hurt.
Tonatium, wielder of Alakast.
You would think I could smack things.
I would just find the demon guy.
Yeah, but then I could fight.
Oh, I wish you're here.
Where? I don't see. Oh.
None of them can get you.
Behind Carafon.
Yeah, the demon guy.
I could shift here. Might as well check how this one works.
Let me guess. Cone of Gold.
Actually, I was gonna go with shout with a 30-foot cone.
Okay.
Is there any way you can hit both of them without hitting Caravan?
I don't know.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
So you step back, you lean over, and you shout.
Okay, yeah, but first things first, yeah. Let's see if I spell the retreat. Uh-oh.
It does not. So you step back, you lean back, you shout, "Fuck you!" Magical rings compressing the world. As it strikes the 2 of them, they kind of cock their heads and go, "No, fuck you!"
Probably not the best opportunity to actually try to spell for the first time.
Actually, I need it. It goes like this.
Go. Fuck!
Fucking, no fucking.
I always think it was the DMC thing.
No, it was Kizunai's, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
No, it's with the DMC thing where Dante says fuck you to a demon, the demon says fuck you back, he says fuck you, and then she goes fuck you.
You know, the more I actually hear about what happens in the Devil May Cry series, the more I actually want to play it.
Yeah.
Just to like see the absurdity of these things.
That was Devil May Cry.
Here.
I will start my flurry of blows, this time on 67, with my first one being a stunning fist gun.
Okay. Those are not good saves. I think we've got a stunned fella. Yep, that hits.
Cool, so he's stunned.
Yep. Saves against the Golden Ice, though.
Okay, he does. 98.
Stun now. That'll hit. You only can't hit on a crit fail.
Only get hit on a crit fail. Okay.
Yep.
This is my next attacks, which are 12s.
Okay. Now you might be able to miss on a not crit fail, but thus far you're hitting. That hits because he's stunned.
And I'm not hit.
Does not hit. He's still standing, wobbling and stunned. Scarafon goes, ah! Takes a 5-foot step. Like, and grabs his amulet and holds it out and says, "Stay back, demons!" Kairos.
I will cast. That might be a perfect time to go waste those spells right now. I don't have really any combat spells. I'm a supporter. Let's support me by using up the pressure. I already gave you a +6 AC. What more? I'll get not attacked?
Yeah, took about attacks in 3 points.
I don't really do that. Fine. It's not probably going to help you. I'll move over down. I'm going to touch you, Tartium, from behind. I'll cast Sanctuary on you.
Touch you from behind.
What does that do? And then you will save.
Yeah.
If you attack, you break it.
Yeah, so don't attack them.
So, Babo's on here time. 67 is stunned, so it's only 2-1 making an attack. Nope.
I don't think they can hit me unless they crit.
This one's going to make a 5-foot step over towards here. And we're going to have a case of 2 stabs with a spear. $34 will come towards Tonatium, and Matemta will save.
It ties.
Failing its will save. Tonatium.
You're welcome, Tartium.
Tonatium casts Fireball right in the middle of the party.
Killing us all.
Well, what exactly breaks the sanctuary?
Attacking it all.
Attacking it all?
Not casting any offensive spells or attacking. Or affecting the enemy in any way.
Or affecting the enemy in any way. Let's see. Yeah, what am I supposed to do if I can't actually help? You can't attack, you just break the sanctuary spell. Alright.
So it's basically it was just 1 free second of, or 1 free round of not being attacked.
Try moving away here.
attack that requires a save. As long as I fail, I only take half.
It's not exactly unsafe. There's no safety throw.
So what is happening?
Think about casting Black Tentacles.
Oh, I have a CMD of 32.
Alright, if you're that confident.
Go for it. If I do that, I need that.
25 radius spread, so. Yeah, you can grab everyone and here, but. Well, those three anyway.
Are you grabbing everyone, including Carafon?
No, I mean, like.
He's doing it in a way that I'll grab the three, like these three, and me. Without touching Pirate or Erebon.
That's not right.
It does not allow spell resistance, so.
I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that.
Oh, what am I?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, combat maneuver rolls, I guess.
Combat maneuver.
See you in the back, boys.
No, I didn't expect to roll a 2.
That does not beat their CMDs.
Oh, they still gotta roll, or if they try moving, they'll have to beat it again or something. Oh, God.
Here.
I'm gonna spend a key point to give myself another attack of Flurry of Blows at my full round bonus. I will spend, and then I will. First Flurry of Blows punch is going to be at 2-1, which is going to be a stunning fist attempt.
Okay. That'll hit. Roll damage before we worry about rolling saves.
Next attack will be a stunning fist attempt at 67. Wrong roll.
That'll hit.
That's a crit credit. Which the next attack will be a stunning fist attempt at 30.
Okay. That'll hit. Roll damage before we worry about saves.
And I can't move.
Carafon is going to step back and say to Tonatium, "You have a good choice of companion." Garrus.
I'm just gonna go back up into the air and cast my turn. He's got this. Wait, what's going on? I missed everything. I was trying to read up a spell.
Punch 3 demons into that.
The Spabao is going to look at here and look at Tonatium and go at here and run towards Tonatium instead.
Uh-oh. But what did the Cowphon say?
You picked a good companion.
That does not hit.
Tonatium. This demon charges at you with spear and you like grab the spear.
Alright, I'm done. I think I am so done. Let's see if this works. This is dumb. I'm gonna regret this if this does not work out, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Gotta smack him with Alakast. He counts as evil outsider, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
What smack?
That will hit. Is that including the extra Bane damage?
Yes.
Okay, that's a not very great roll.
Yeah.
He goes, "Wah!" grabbing his
I can
nose.
attack twice.
Oh, you can attack again.
Let's get bonus.
That will hit. Here. That will hit. And he's actually going to have to make his saves because for once you don't kill him. Carafon goes, oh dear. Holds out the wand and attempts his use magic device check. Magic missile! Da, 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 da. As these bodies fall, they almost get consumed by the earth itself.
Alicast, I need healing.
Alicast goes, I think your invisible friend floating up there may be more useful at this moment than I.
I'll fly down, or I'll come down, and I will touch him, and I will cast heal.
You have to specify if you touch him.
You'll heal 120 HP. That's a bit overkill. It's the only healing spell I really got.
Cure my wounds.
No!
Okay, so pour it on you.
Well, that can heal really, really good, but it's like the explosion. That could be the explosion equivalent of healing.
It's the overkill heal.
It's my 6th level heal spell.
You did get a ball again. High up the rock.
I like you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I gave you turn to him, and I catch him from being hit. Yes, thank you for your assistance.
We have had.
And I saved you last time against that spider.
It's been much good fortune, Carafon says. Much good fortune here. Only 4 babao in the course of a day. And they could have struck us on the quaking lands. Much gratitude to you here. Please do not touch me. The question is, do you want to make camp?
Probably a bad idea, to be honest. Hey, we can't just keep walking though. We get exhausted, die.
Carafon looks around and goes, I have an option for safety for tonight, but I'm not sure, but I only have the ability to do it twice. And he takes out a small little gem that has a splinter of wood inside of it. Can you compensate me? can keep us safe this night, but I only have 2 of these. They are rare and expensive.
Someone here wants cash.
Or a promise of power upon your completion of the test. Yes.
I'm not sure.
Very well. I smell of the plains. These creatures do not find their way to me. I will sleep away from you for my safety.
I don't mind offering a little.
Just a position of prestige when you come into your throne.
Here will, do a little cheeky grin and raise his hand. Sure, they'll have to shake on it.
Carafon goes, of course, and wraps his hand in a bandage.
I don't think it matters. I mean, just upon contact with my hand.
Yeah, he's specifically wrapping it so it won't come in contact.
He will drop it, and I'm making a joke. There's no guarantee that I'll even get power.
It's gonna be me.
Yes. Shall
I
we?
have doubts if you're fit to rule the plane.
I don't think you can be much worse here.
Carafon
I want
goes,
to point out who basically killed the spider before you got that rascal hidden. I'm not talking about your competency, I'm talking about your reasoning.
let's continue this discussion inside, Carafon says, as he attempts his use magic device check. And spins the crystal in the air as it focuses its energy in on it as it cracks, and boom, a little cottage appears. And he opens the door. He bows. This will last for 18 hours. All is secure against intrusion. It's a single room inside. And in that room, there's a trestle table, a writing desk, 8 stools, and 2 tall bunk beds. Are any of you wearing coats?
That's my cloak. I'm
Your
not taking it off.
something will take your cloak off.
I don't think they're going to take my robes off.
Like, there's an invisible force that just takes your cloak and hangs it up on a peg on the wall. And as that happens, Carafon's eyes widen and he goes, and it takes his cloak as well.
I don't think he thought this was
Well,
What does he look like without his cloak on?
you're gonna see it as soon as I refind it. So unfortunately, I have a description of him without his cloak, and no image of him without his cloak. And his description, I want to say, number 1, predates the art I'm going to be using for him, because Tom will recognize it. But number 2 is pretty much exactly as is described, and pretty much exactly describes this image. So, yeah. He's a red-skinned man with 2 horns and patchy hair that drapes down over golden eyes.
Oh, so he's a tiefling.
I was expecting older and uglier.
I'm older than I look.
Of course you are.
He also, not pictured, has a pair of leathery wings.
Kairos, here you realize Tonatim is way too casual about this. Hi, Tibbles.
Essentially, the description of Caraphon without his robe is Tybalt with wings. Wait.
I don't understand why you choose to hide yourself. You don't look ugly or menacing.
Because he's a tiefling. Not many people will trust one.
I'm not a tiefling.
Never are you.
So my mother was a human. My father was a pit fiend. And I was born here. Tonatium, you know enough about the planes to know that the name for this is Cambion, or half-fiend.
Cambion or what?
Half-fiend.
Happy. Not exactly tiefling.
Not exactly tiefling.
It says here.
Cambion.
Yes.
Some people would just say close enough.
Well, it's been a few centuries since I went to the material plane, and last time they burned me. So I conceal myself.
Yeah, well, you're in the material plane.
So if you die, do you come back here?
This is my home. Yes.
Yeah, well, that does explain why you get a material plane, but why here?
I don't know you. You don't know me. There's caution to be observed. He sits down and says, well, rest is good here, I suppose. You were saying that there was a discussion to be had about power in this plane.
Kind of looks like I'm a little bit big fan just by not having the mark. But mummy thing didn't say no.
We haven't made it to the end yet, though.
I would assume if I wasn't allowed, I wouldn't be able to take you first place.
I'm going to become the ruler.
Okay. So like, I want to rule the plane.
Yeah, sure. I'm piggybacking off of others.
Spider food right now.
Not really. It was pretty much that.
So, wait, are you both seriously considering ruling the plane?
Carafon fights with the invisible force that's trying to hang up his cloak. I suppose it depends on your point of view. And then he finally wrestles it back and puts it on, leaving his hood down now, but bindling himself back up in the hood, wrapping his wings down under his arms, and clearly more comfortable that way.
What about you, Kairos? How do you believe ruling the plane will take away your curse?
I mean, eventually I might become strong enough to get... You've seen what some of these creatures are like. You've read the stories, right? They're basically almost like gods. Given enough time.
You even know who gave you this curse in the first place.
Something did.
And how will
I
you
never
know?
asked for it.
There's no guarantee that you will be cured of it.
It's the only hope I've got. That's a hell of a lot more hope than I had before.
Carafon goes, Well, if ruling the plane makes one as a god, it doesn't need to be you that rules it. Just someone who considers you a friend.
Exactly. If any of us will it, and you think that if you need the power to get rid of a curse, we could do it too with you.
No offense, but I've known you guys for maybe a few days.
This one here, the devil's spawn, understands the prudence of the other.
Yes, we have only known us for a few days, but in those few days we've gone through life-threatening event after life-threatening event. I would assume that would make us at least rather close. You have trusted your life to me a number of times already.
Yes, but this is too important to me. I can't risk this.
I've had people die on me because I could not uphold those trusts, despite my best abilities.
Seems the brown-skinned man also understands the prudence of the other.
Well, I trust the both of you. I doubt either of you would betray me unless it's for a really good reason.
Is Carafon included in that both?
I trust Caravan a bit less, but he's being helpful.
So you're like, I trust both of you, and Carafon's just like, oh, you don't trust me. Well, I guess you might be prudent too.
I'll trust you till you decide to do something that isn't very good.
You may trust me always, he says, to be a scholar and prudent.
Define prudence.
Do not rush foolishly into battle. And if someone must be harmed, it is best that someone be not you.
That's obvious.
Prudence.
He will look at all the three people in front of him. Honestly, I think if one of us must be good, it probably might as well be me. Tony's definitely a lot more important than, kind of to a minute that we wouldn't be alive without Kairos. And you were basically our ticket back home.
I'm glad we are all in agreement that you are the most expendable.
Not that I would go down easy.
That is true. You are very resilient. I must rest and prepare. I would like to take the first watch, if I may.
I'll take third.
And who's taking the full night's sleep then?
Who's doing the full night's sleep? I'll probably let Kyros take the full night's sleep.
Okay. So, going to have 3 hours per watch.
Do we need to get the watch with the high phone?
Carafon shrugs and goes, "Some things may be powerful enough to breach it." So, possibly Tonatium's watch, depending on what this roll is. So that will depend very much on if we roll max here. Yeah, okay. So, Tonatium, you do hear some things scraping at the wall during your watch, but they leave. So, during your watches, is there anything any of you are going to be doing?
I have no idea. If I'm awake, guess. Then I'd probably be dumb to like try to prep spells while watching.
Okay.
I guess I could do casting. No way.
Doing distinguished actions without counting as a red. Or it's better just to sit and watch.
Well, I mean, during your watches. But if that's how it will be, then you can make it to the next day. Sure does like to have it be right at the end of the day.
What did we encounter? Like 10?
8.
8.
Yeah, let me just.
Get my point back.
Let's get the new Carafon token.
Handsome kind of fun, except for instead of weird ET looking bitch in a coat.
Yeah, you can see why he's kind of ET, because when he wraps his wings down around himself, it kind of gives him this hunchback. And he does that normally while he's walking. Like he's got his
His hands are gray, is that right?
his hands should be kind of that same color too. Yeah, he does have 3-fingered gray hands. So, yeah. Is there anything over the course of the day as you're walking, following the lantern, that any of you wish to do?
Kairos, here. Since you're both set on owning accomplish that?
Edicts, rules, us. That tends to be the normal one. Here, though, I figure take much more force. They are demons.
And what about them being demons? I don't necessarily hate demons for just being demons.
Demons are demons. That they literally cannot. They aren't like mortals.
Demons who listen to reason, can they not?
No.
I'd at least try to be fair to them until they try back.
Demons literally cannot change.
I would settle it if it comes to it.
So, I'm going to leave you a bit of a ways back because you can see this as you approach. Standing in the route of the lantern, looking away from you, is a tall man in sort of a reddish armor with a loincloth in the front. His arms and legs are unnaturally long, and his skin is scaly. It has a large stave, a large quarterstaff with a cleaved top that it leans against as it looks out over the pulsing flesh of the plain. What do you do?
And stay invisible.
Knowledge plagues the creature.
Sure. You recognize a gray slod, a creature of chaos and madness. That the gray slod is one of the more advanced and developed forms of slod. Obsessed with the arcane and deepening their understanding, these slod, also sometimes called rift slod for their ability to manipulate time and space. They travel the multiverse, grasping and twisting arcane energies to suit their whims, until eventually they either attune with probability and become white slod, or attune with entropy and become death slod. They are, with that role, you're aware they are deeply intelligent, resistant to magic, resistant to damage from all but the most lawful of sources.
Anyone here technically lawful?
My fists count as lawful, as long as I have one key point. And I'm immune to magical diseases, so I am technically immune to the chaos phase.
And as it stands there, it kind of stops and turns and sees the edge of the lantern is like right behind it, and it stops and kind of runs its hand through the lantern light and strokes its chin as it looks back towards you, quizzingly. like inquisitively.
You might want to hide that.
I will lower the. Uh-oh.
It just sort of takes a step backwards, and as it does, it appears right here. As the light turns off, it goes, interesting. And it cocks its head and blinks a little and reaches out and starts pointing at the various rings on Kairos's face, counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The couch invisible.
Yes, Kairos is invisible.
You can see me. Oh dear.
It looks at the lantern. Is it related to the abnormalities in the flux ahead? I wonder.
What are you doing here?
Learning. What are you doing here?
Walking?
Walking. He walks over here, dropping onto its hands and feet and putting its head right by your feet. Walking on floors, walking on walls, walking on ceilings. Boring. And then stands up and turns back towards Kairos, specifically the lantern. Interesting.
He's definitely an inquisitive fellow.
He turns to you, looks you up and down. Divine, dull, useless, interesting, pointing at the lantern. Useless, interesting. Why? That question is a demand almost posed straight to you, Kairos.
We're doing a test.
It's a test. The instability is a test. Testing what? You cannot see instability, you cannot taste it. What would the test?
To own this place.
Not why the test, what the test. What the test?
We're figuring that out as we go. As we travel.
It holds its hand out towards you, expectantly. Looking at the lantern.
You want to see the lantern?
No, TM just says no. It looks towards you. There's a connection. Take it apart and learn.
We need the lantern, though.
Need the lantern. Test, lantern, test, you, test. There's a connection. There's a connection. Take it apart and learn.
We can take it apart after, though. Because right now, if we do not travel and follow the lantern, there may be even more knowledge.
Would you make an initiative roll?
Uh-oh.
Like as you get the sense that take it apart doesn't mean the lantern anymore.
In my guts.
And we need Carafon. Karos. Has
I can only do one thing. I can't cast spells when he's this close.
you can 5-foot shift.
5-foot shift attack.
Remember, he's staggered on the first round.
Yeah, but you can.
One move or action.
That's not a move. That's a swift.
So you can still take an action.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast haste on all of us.
Tonatium. You also know that Tonatium. You also know that a Rift Slot is native to not to Pandemonium, to Limbo, the plane of pure chaos.
Oh, does that mean I could try that?
What are you gonna try?
I'll try to summon him through Dispel Magic Greater.
Should just banishment.
He's not summoned.
Oh. It's just basically not his native plane, so if you banish him, he would go back to
Yeah. So that might be information to share with Kairos.
Yep. Carlos, it's not native to this plane.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah. Tonatium. So. Unless Tonatium just wants to tell Kairos to take a step back.
Carlos, take a step back. He's not native to this plane. And, you know what? What was it? I had it. I was going to do something. I'm, amped to cast Phantasmal Killer, Grey Man.
Okay.
Oh no. I remember that.
Make your
Yes.
spell resistance check. Your magic seems to warp and dissipate, absorbed into the creature. Oh, not it here. I'm sorry.
I will flurry of blows with my first one being a stopping attempt.
Okay.
My modifier's good. I'm just
Crit fail.
modifier's good. I'm just shit today.
oh god, it's going to kill our partner.
Okay. So that provokes an attack. As you punch, and it just leans back and grabs your fist and looks to you and says, "Divine, annoying," and whacks your chest. And I need you to make a will save. Yes.
What kind of effect is this?
Not one you're immune to.
Please don't pass out.
So you will take 10d6 damage. For 30 damage.
Is that match for damage?
As it taps you and rends the space within you and around you.
Run the space in and around me.
Ow!
You're over there now.
Where are you?
Oh!
Here is there.
He was all the way over there now.
Oh god, here's up there.
And now and it got to do that on Here's turn. How nice.
Oh god. Oh god.
As it cocks its head.
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
Is that a spell or spell like that?
It is a supernatural ability.
So it's not a spell like ability.
No.
Okay. Because I have 9 Nimbus kits, which have been a +1.
Which would have actually saved.
But it's not a spell like ability, it's supernatural.
Yep. So it cocks its head, points at the lantern, and goes, "Here." And because you're holding it, you may make a will save on behalf of the lantern.
Oh no. God. Like I can make this. That would be +7, so.
Okay. So, time to make a token for the Lantern of Revealing. Fortunately, it acts before him, so it can't act this turn. But yeah, Kairos, the lantern in your hand starts wiggling. And the opening on the front from whence the light comes out starts blinking like an eye. This Carafon goes, this is not good. I can cast this twice a day. Okay. Yeah. And Carafon is over here next to here.
Why did he teleport to me?
To grab you and teleport back.
That's a waste.
Okay, we're pulling out the big guns, everyone. Pulling out the big gun.
I need you to make your spell check first.
Oh yeah, there's that.
I'm going to rewind time with my rewind time ability to re-roll that.
It's SR's 24. No, wait, nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong page. Its SR is 21. So you do your banishment, and it just goes. Oh, you still have your movement, Kairos. Donatium.
Run.
Yeah. What? Wait, what's going on with the lantern?
It's wiggling and wobbling and blinking.
And wobbling and blinking and...
It seems to be alive.
I don't even know what the hell is going on.
I love this thing so much.
All I know is here's over there, and there's over here.
As we swift action, we're going to cast Cold Ice Strike against the Gray Man.
Okay. That will hit. Do you your spell resistance roll?
No, that's the spell resistance.
Is there a
It's a
save?
line.
It's a line. Reflex save? Pretty sure it just failed.
Oh yeah, that's going to fail. 43 cold damage.
The ice runs over it. And it twitches. Ah. Cold. Rude.
And wait, that was a swift action.
Oh, that was a swift action.
That was a standard.
I'm gonna try grabbing the lantern.
Alright. Kairos, do you permit Tontium to grab the lantern?
No.
Why not?
What are you trying to do?
Hey,
This would be a combat maneuver check then, Tontium.
why are you resisting? We have to keep away.
Alright, I'll let him have it.
You now have the lantern, which is wiggling and shaking against you.
Now it's my turn.
Now it's here.
I will spend 2 key points of move action to teleport you right in front of that slat's face. Because fuck you, I can teleport 800 feet to move back.
And in the distance you can see Karafan go, "Why did I do this?"
And I will attempt to stun the slat. Okay.
Okay.
Roll a 1.
Hopefully not.
Because if we say it, it won't happen.
Oh, it's a crit threat.
That's a confirmation.
Sweet. Is he an evil creature?
No.
Okay, good. That's not gonna help.
So, fort save versus the stun.
Failed.
Okay.
He is stunned. He takes 4d6 plus 16 damage.
Okay, so that's going to do something. Your lawfuls, that's going to that. So, as you strike him very hard, he shimmers. And it's almost as though space itself shatters like glass where he's standing.
Was that an action? There's a passive effect.
That happens automatically when his hit points fall this low.
Gotcha.
He's shit, and he's not he's not recorporated yet. He's like an incorporeal gas for a moment. The lantern.
How is this going?
It's trying to get out of your grasp.
Oh, hell no.
Does 9 beat your combat maneuver defense?
No.
Yeah, the lantern is struggling against your grasp. It is stunned and incorporeal. Karafan goes, ugh, and teleports back. What a waste. But it's good to know. It's good to know. Kairos.
You can see me teleport against the thing that you eat with the heat vest.
During that entire fight, Karafan was hiding in a corner in a different room.
I may try casting banishment on him again.
Okay.
I'm going to reroll that with my rewind time. I only get to use that twice a day, but it's kind of important here. God damn it! I can't roll above a 4.
Wow, that's how low you're rolling?
Yes, I have a +12 on this.
Donatium.
The stupid thing. Get in the damn fanny pack.
Please make a combat maneuver roll. As it is struggling not to get shoved into your fanny pack.
Nice.
That beats the CMD of 9. It's a lantern. It's not very good at fighting. You shove it into your bag of holding, wherein it's going to wreak havoc.
Oh crap. Please don't move too much. That's not good.
Here.
Charge.
It is currently incorporeal.
That's working. I can't punch it.
Actually, no. With your fists, you can punch it.
I can punch the incorporeal form.
Yep. That hits.
For max damage.
As it recorporealizes, standing here. And as it does, it rises up, takes a step back.
It's stunned this round?
No, it was stunned last round.
Good. It acts out. Yeah, it's okay.
And it shouts, "Enough." I need to check the radius on this.
I feel like it disintegrated.
Okay, so it's a single person. I need... And there's no saving throw.
There's no saving throw for this?
So what's your current hit points here?
47.
Oh god. Oh god.
You are stunned for the next 11 rounds.
I had it for my own ability.
Yeah, as he just steps back and goes, "Enough!" And you find all of your muscles freezing up.
I was like, dex to AC. It's harsh that it has no save.
That has no save. You do have spell resistance. Do you have spell resistance?
Not yet. I get that level 30.
Yeah. This is a really good spell.
What is this?
Power word stun.
Oh.
I really wish there was a saving throw against this because I have a bonus against being paralyzed held or entangled.
Don't worry,
As
I got your back on my turn.
Carafon goes, "Oh my, I'm using these so much. It's not from this plane. I only have one of you. Should I use it?"
I've been trying to manage this thing the last 30 seconds. It's not working.
Right. Pulls out the wand of magic missile and attempts to use magic device check.
Nice, they found the spell resistance.
Magic missile is not subject to spell resistance.
It's not.
That's why it's good. Gyros.
I am going to time hop to appear right behind here. I'm going to reach out, touch his back, and I'm going to cast heal.
Okay.
I guess they're no longer stunned at full health now.
Does heal remove stunned?
All mental conditions.
Oh, mental. So that I'm still stunned.
Hang on, I'm reading it right now. All the following adverse conditions affecting the target: ability damage, blinded, confused, dazed, dazzled, deafened, diseased, exhausted, fatigue, feeble mind, insanity, nauseated, poisoned, sickened, and stunned. Yes, you're good. It gets rid of almost everything.
Gives rid of everything and fully heals me.
Tonatium.
Oh dear. How's the fanny pack going?
Well, as far as you're aware, the fanny pack is completely stable because it's an extraplanar space.
Okay. Alright. I think I got this. What do I do about that? That is the question, isn't it? Black tentacles. Apparently it's the gray slot.
You're gonna black
Still
tentacle.
spell resistance.
Okay. Give you the combat maneuver roll.
Yes.
That is not enough.
We can't break through this thing.
We're just rolling really badly.
I mean, I can punch it, it's fine.
I know you can, but
That's why I'm here to help.
Here.
I did it with my sword, but no.
Come forth here with your fists of law.
My fists of law. I'm gonna fight my shit. Delivery of blows, first one being a stun.
Okay. That will not hit.
Sadness. That wastes my stunning fist attack, which I'll try again. My next attack.
That will hit.
Not much damage. And he makes you save that way. Third attack.
That does not hit.
Next attack.
Does not hit.
Why can't we roll?
Yeah. So you're striking and it's blocking all these things until you finally get through and go wham right in the nose. Does not confirm. Does not confirm.
But it's a hit. And I have hit him once already this round, so I do get my damage. And I have,
Do you want to know how many hit points he has?
I have one more attack.
He's at 0.
And I have one more attack. Hopefully this hits. No.
So as you strike him and he falls backwards, barely missing him as he tumbles, he goes, "Curiosity isn't worth it," and begins casting a spell which provokes an attack of opportunity.
Which I will take.
That does not hit
Sadness.
as he plane shifts away. Da, 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 da.
Alright, let's see if this lantern's calmed down.
So what else is in the pocket that you put the lantern in?
Two sets of robes, some hands and sticks, the rest of my rations. Well, everything will be this. The scroll of prying eyes, greater knowledge, sequitur, a bunch of cure serious roots, 3 potions of cure moderate, and 3 beads of necklace of fireball.
So how many items are there?
Let's see. If I count them as sets, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I want them counted in total. It's going to randomly attack one thing,
Oh. Okay then.
and we're going to hope that it's not the necklace of fireball.
Alright, let's see. There's. Okay, there's 166 of us. 2, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there's 13 other items.
Okay, so in total, 168 plus what?
15.
Okay, so we're going to be rolling 1d 183.
Hit the stick of us and hit incense.
Does it hit? It does. Not doing any damage. So yeah, you essentially open that up and you see your stick of incense, and it's kind of like the bottom of the lantern's mouth, and it's trying to eat the stick of incense.
Okay, now what the hell happened to this?
Do you,
I think that there's about 180 sticks of incense.
do you take it out?
I'll try to.
Okay. 10 doesn't beat your combat maneuver defense, does it?
Nope.
Yeah, it's just wiggling in your hand trying to break free.
Here, I think you can hold this a bit better.
I can't hold it because he's looking at it.
Yeah. It 21 will never beat your combat maneuver defense, so it can't.
No, my CMD is 32.
Yeah. So you just take this thing and it's just wiggling and wobbling, trying as best it can to get away.
Alright, let me see what the hell happened to this. As I will detect magic and spellcraft.
It's been animated.
Animate object.
It should fade in a few minutes.
Alright.
It has a single eye from which this beam that no matter what way it's facing turns to go the direction of the test.
I want to cast permanency on it so much.
It's in my hand, and I will punch you. I have 8 stunning fist attempts left.
But you would be such a good little guy.
And you could train it, and then it could walk alongside you with its 10-foot move speed.
We could teach it to throw a coconut.
No, you can't. I'm gonna throw you like a coconut.
And it'll throw a coconut. And it'll triple crit and kill the big boss. Or get smashed trying.
It's
You realize you're probably going to have to return this when we're done, right? No, we won't. I want to cast permanency on it so much.
She's behind my back.
It fades away and becomes a normal.
Cast the spell! No!
At this point, it has become a regular old magical lantern.
You can have the lantern back now. It's not living.
I'll cast enemy objects.
What?
Nothing?
I will stunning fist him. You are a big stunning fist.
Well, I mean, if Kairos casts animate object, then it becomes an animate object under Kairos' control.
I'm joking. I don't have that spell right now.
Animating no one to me.
I need the lantern. He's back.
I thought I wasn't one of the group.
Yeah, I messed up the whole sticks that got everywhere.
You do damage to it.
Yeah. It didn't do damage, but there's like bits of incense all over the place.
Stuff I have to neatly organize the bag.
At least it didn't attack the fireball beam. I think that would have blown up the fanny pack from the inside.
168 sticks of incense.
Oh god. That would have blown up the fanny pack from inside. With all that incense, it would be a shrapnel bomb.
Yeah, it just looks like a perfectly normal bag, but then the moment someone opens it, boom!
No, because when our bag of holding gets destroyed, everything that's in it gets shunted out forcefully. So the fireball goes off, destroys the bag, and then
A bunch of flaming sticks of incense fly in every direction.
That's how everyone dies.
And there in the middle, looking proudly, is the lantern, trying to waddle towards the thing that's no longer in display.
That word came over.
That was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be looking at the stat block.
that was hilarious. I think the best part is I got teleported. Our demon friend wastes both his teleports to try to save me.
I didn't actually expect to manage to put the thing into the fanny pack. The fanny pack, so holy.
It's a CR 1/2 creature.
What I thought was it was trying to move the thing towards it and then poof away with it.
That's literally what it was going to do. Yeah, he's just like, you come to life and come to me. You know, expecting that, you know, like a normal person, you might go, oh shit, my lantern's moving, and drop it, and then they would waddle towards him. Or not.
He was dealing with the people who don't like to drop things, and then a monk that can teleport.
Well,
Like this is the law.
so as you cross the next flesh dune, you find yourselves overlooking something. Specifically, you find yourselves overlooking a vast, well, vision day, please. Oh, that's not one of them that you can see. A vast plain of cysts and sores.
What?
You see a vast plain of cysts and sores, and the light of the lantern shines down and then starts moving around in a pattern.
What was the name of this test again?
The test of resolve.
That's gross.
Okay, so we don't stop and we go as fast as we can. We run as quickly as we can do. Don't touch the swords, don't touch anything.
One moment.
Just follow the light.
Because as you arrive here,
Oh, please don't tell me he's here. Please.
you can see, as you look over this, that there are dozens of broken weapons, shields, and bones littering the ground. These translucent ovoids, like cocoons, lay on the ground. Each has a black tube on one end that disappears into the ground. Bipedal silhouettes are visible, writhing in some of those forms.
What the hell are these? How explains these entity things?
You have no idea.
What's the symbol?
There is a symbol there. That's where the lantern light seems to be going and stopping.
Before we continue, I have to pay.
Okay. Actually, this seems like a great place to stop for the day, possibly. I didn't think this through. I have 2 beads of fireball in that bag. I'll need to.
If anything, if it exploded, at least I got confetti.
Yes.
And on fire. That could have been one way to go. Actually, I wouldn't be really affected at all if it was just an explosion.
Welcome back. So my kids aren't actually online like they're supposed to be. So I suppose we can keep going until they get online if you'd like.
I have nothing better to do all day.
I have to get ready to stream soon, but I still have an hour before that. I just gotta go put food on real quick.
I don't know what the plan is for TV.
So the question is, do you want to start the test of resolve now or end as you approach the beginning of the test of resolve?
I want to start. Looks interesting.
The test
I
of
want to start, but at the same time, it's probably better to start once at the beginning of the session.
this test is a lot of bullshit, so
It had a lot of bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I will start it, and when you first fail the test is when we'll end.
What if we don't fail?
Then we'll run out of time and we'll have to be continued.
Like I said, let's just go as fast as we can, you guys.
I don't think that's the right way to go about this.
And we don't even know what our objective is in this test.
Okay.
Follow the light.
I don't think we're right there, right? Isn't it?
Yep.
I'm gonna die hardly.
I'll be fine.
I'm gonna step onto the symbol.
Okay. As you do, the sort of eye on the lantern shuts. And a little lever pops out.
I all pulled the lever.
the lever opens and you can see the light shining in this direction, but you find yourself unable to move.
Okay. Can I try shutting it?
When you release the lever, you find yourself able to move, but the light is off.
Okay, I see how it works. Okay. So, what? I'm gonna start going forward. I may be invisible still.
Okay.
So how far out did the light go?
It actually only went 5 feet out.
Okay. I was gonna move 30 feet and I'm gonna reopen it again.
It is shining this direction.
Move another 30 feet. And open it again.
It's shining this direction.
I'll be following mine, Captain. I like the source of the light.
I'm basically gonna, until you tell Kid, I'm gonna keep repeating this, following the direction.
It's shining this direction. Now, here, as you're walking forward, you see Kairos vanish.
I go too far.
Huh. Wait a minute. Where Kairos? Wait, I don't even know. Kairos is invisible. We don't even know how he's going. We just saw the
Oh,
light.
that's right. You just saw the lantern light flash on and then flash off.
Huh.
Here vanishes. Tonatium vanishes.
Oh, oh. That's weird.
What?
So, I'm gonna pull the lever.
The light shines this way.
I think we went too far. I'm going to repeat the path, but I'm going to stop here this time.
Okay.
And opening it.
The light shines this way.
Following directly behind.
You can't see him.
Yeah, why are you invisible, Tom?
I will go visible again so they can see me.
We need to follow you.
Okay. Light shines this way. You guys can follow him now.
Alright, open it again. 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 Open it again.
So as Kairos steps there, he vanishes.
Okay.
And I think that's where we'll end for the session, as you begin to realize how absurd. This is a very big maze.
I know how it works.
If we take a single wrong step, we teleport back to the start.
Yeah. Well, let's continue this. Here in Tonatium, you see him vanish as he steps there.
Have to go this way?
Can I start heading back to them, following the path again?
Sure, but do it kind of slowly.
I'm trying to remember the path.
Antonio hasn't teleported yet.
Here vanishes
I vanish? I didn't move.
a.
I think that's the point.
There's a time limit. You have to keep moving.
This way.
Tonatium vanishes.
Wrong turn.
Oh, God. Opening it again.
Interesting.
I told you this test is full of bullshit. Fortunately, the lantern does the way. But yeah, next time, huh?
Hold on. I think it's because I'm used to this kind of maze in like physically like games where I'm like that I'm like used to this. No one can yes, this is working well.
I'm just trying to think on. Are these things dangerous?
You don't know.
Carapon, are those things dangerous?
Carafon goes, this, I know this place. And he walks through without having any issues because he didn't step on the symbol. I've been told that creatures who step on that go mad as they get flipped about this place. As you've been when you walk and you get flicked back. But this was the source, the site of a great celestial battle. These are the bodies of angels being digested by the plane, for lack of a better word.
Gross.
Are they safe to touch?
I would assume no.
Carafon shrugs. It depends upon if they're ready to hatch.
Hatch?
When they're fully digested, demons come out. Until then, it is said, till then, their insides are acidic and sometimes there's treasure.
I doubt they're safe to jump.
I wonder, dude. Oh,
What are you doing?
I am trying to test this theory.
So you step backwards off of it, right?
No, I did. I just went back too far. I didn't mean to touch that in the first place.
Okay, so you step backwards off of, but I mean the thing at the beginning. Did you walk forward or just walk backwards?
I walked forwards.
And as soon as you left the path, you teleported back.
See, if I knew that those things were dangerous to touch, but I would.
That is weird. What if I were to? I'm gonna move. Walking forward, I will move here. All right then. What if I backwards?
What happens if I jump 45 feet this way?
You land.
And this is one of those, like, digesting animals, right? That's very.
That's a great purple pulsing cyst.
I was touching it.
Can you touch something that's 10 feet away?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to step closer to it. Wind up back in the symbol.
Let's see. I got an idea.
How about I touch it?
George has an idea.
Just want to touch
What's Tonatium's idea?
Gooey. Every few steps, Tonatium will drop a incense stick.
Keep track of your incense sticks.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7.
No, after 25. Phew. And then you're like 26. Oh, I'm back at the beginning, and you pick your stick back up.
So, I have enough stuff. We can just make a trail.
Alright, then.
I think
I'll
that this.
start going through here, picking up all the sticks that I picked up.
Why would you pick them back up?
He's only going to leave the ones at the place he needs to turn.
Yep.
And then he's going to like adjust it to point in the direction he needs to go, so he's not running out. Detective Antonio. This is why I call him Detective Antonio.
Now all we have to worry about is the time limit.
So that's 1, 2.
Why don't you just follow the lantern for as long? Then afterwards,
Yeah.
once we teleport back in time, we know what path we can take, so we can travel that fast.
1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
That would be easy though.
5.
Antonio?
1, 2.
Then you vanish.
What I was saying, Antonio, is we use those to mark our current path. By follow the lantern in the path we don't know, we will eventually tell the time limit. Because then we don't have to be slow for that path we made.
Where everyone just has. Alright. So, like, what I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. 7? I have 6 on the floor.
7.
Oh, wait, 7? Yeah.
You would only do them on the turn, right?
1, 2, and because I hadn't finished this line yet, I was. Yeah, that would have been 5.
You finished that line.
Yeah.
You went to here before you teleported.
No, I didn't pick those up though because I tried making a turn to see if that's where it goes, but then I didn't. So I needed to check all the other possible turns too.
Or we can just do that follow the lantern.
The lantern does shine.
Instead of just trial and error.
But isn't that the point?
What do you mean? The path is going to be revealed to us by the lantern to move with the lantern before we get sent back. So if we follow the lantern and then mark chalk, the second we get sent back, we can just move the path faster because we know the route.
Open the lantern. Open the lantern. Open the lantern.
So we gave Kylo some incense.
Voop you back.
Come with me, guys.
Yeah.
And then start dropping the incense. Open the lantern again.
Why are you on me?
Sorry. Open the lantern.
North. I'm doing the path, so I'm gonna say northeast, southwest,
Okay.
east.
Open. So right here is the turn.
South.
Open.
South.
Open.
South.
Open.
South.
Open.
South.
Open.
South.
Open.
South. Is
Keep
Tonatium
moving till you hit the.
is Tonatium not
doorstep that
is
pulls us back.
is Tonatium not following? Okay, south.
You know what?
Open.
South.
Open.
South. South.
Can I just?
East.
And here's the turn.
East. 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 North. 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 East. East. Hold on one moment. I need to have you make a perception check.
Oh boy.
This can end well.
Tonatium, you can see. So everyone can see something crouching down behind this cyst over here.
Oh fuck!
Next time.
Where is it? What are you using?
That's a basilisk.
Oh. Oh, this one.
Oh god. Oh god. Four
I
times
knew that spell I prepped would be handy, but I
very bad.
Aren't you glad that you pushed on? And now you get this hanging over your head for a week?
Yay! Hey, at least we don't have to make board saves yet.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. Here, do not turn to stone.
I mean, I can't fight without looking at attack.
So, what do you think about the test of resolve thus far?
Fucking annoying.
All I want to know is if I can touch with cysts without being hurt.
I had to map out the entire map of teleport once.
So my plan was, if we figured out that the cysts weren't harmful to people, we would just body hop from cyst to cyst. Because I can jump 45 feet with no checks.
Yeah, that's not gonna affect anything. I told you this test was kind of bullshit.
I think I'm fully bullshit thing so far is the vessel. I trust me, I'm not that good at fortitude saves either.
So what happened to the both three of us get turned to stone then?
Game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
I have something though.
So, if you have, because I think you figured out already, I'll go ahead and spell it out for you. Deviate from the invisible path, teleport back to start. Spend 15 seconds without walking forward along the invisible path. Go back to start. Which I'm gonna make as 3 rounds.
Joy.
That was forward specifically.
Yes.
So if we stop or move backwards, we will eventually teleport away.
Yes. That's what happened with here when Tonatium was like, I'm gonna keep walking forward, and just happened to accidentally walk along the path. Like here was sitting there going, what are you doing? And then, the time as that's happening, I'm counting down seconds and I have to admit, I was not sure how if this was going to be like super annoying or dumb or what, but I think it's working better than expected.
I like this puzzle. Especially since like it gave me another good idea.
I love that Tonatium's just like, yeah, I don't need a magic lantern. I have incense. I'm a wizard. This is how magic works.
By using your brain. And apparently you're over-prepared stacks of incense sticks.
Look on the bright side. If I ever get teleported back, I'll have an easy time reaching to it.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for the fact that I stuffed the lantern into the fanny pack, I probably would have thought of this. Because I would have forgotten about the incense.
The fucking 7 weeks worth of incense sticks that they're caught.
Yep.
Actually, I have an even better spoiler image. So this will include a little preview of the GM lair. So you're going to see a little bit of what I see.
So, Mel, do you want to know what spell I prepped? That could help. Medusa's Bane.
What's that?
How much do you happen against the battle list?
It only works on me, but let's just say I have the ability to gaze attack, so I can use up all those attacks to turn the Basilisk's gaze back on itself.
Tom, what are you laughing at?
And the spell Antonio prepared.
Medusa's Bane.
It's a good spell.
Yeah, the spell that makes gaze attacks.
I thought you were laughing at the next time issue image. Hey, it's the Proctor again. Yeah, I have the 10-foot wide path visible on the GM screen. It's yeah. Well, peace.
Just like how I accidentally walked on that path just by guts alone.
Oh, I know. I was watching you going, okay. Oh, you made the turn. Oh, there's the turn.
Yeah, you originally never paid with that spell's effect, but you're granted immunity to gaze. And as an immediate action, you can reflect the creature's gaze back on itself, forcing the target of the gaze attack to save against its own gaze, effect, weapon, or the effect upon it. The reflection bypasses the typical immunity creatures with gaze attacks have to their own race's gaze attack. But does not bypass any other resistance or immunity.
Sorry, I shot you.
That being said, once you choose to reflect a gaze attack, the effect of Medusa's Bane immediately. So if it succeeds on its save,
Yeah. Alright. Oh, see ya.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
bye.
Bye. And for once, the stream lasts longer than the chat. Thank you for watching. Next time, bullshit.